I want to start this with one of the most harrowing experiences I've ever had. You know, I think that although the topic said pray men, I think maybe it's rather praying men. Because the men are not the prey. The prey, it's like you're going to eat the men. All right, I'm going to, but as praying men or predator men, I think that's what we're talking about. And the worst experience of it I've had, I mean, as a medical doctor, I hear all kinds of things. But I remember getting a call, a distress call from a young lady who was on the verge of suicide. In fact, the only reason she had contacted me was I'd put something on Facebook, she had seen it and said, well, maybe let me reach out to this guy. I'm going to spare you the gory details, but basically, she had been impregnated by a pastor. And it was not the first time. And the situation was such that this guy was so obsessed, even when she was in her menses, she would still demand sex. I'm sure you're asking yourself questions like, why would you go there, this, that. But in a society like ours, she in the end was actually the one bastardized and insulted. Her sister, her own sister said, then, you know, please all say Papa in ministry. How can you say that? And not just that, there are a couple of times she had gotten pregnant and the pastor had asked her to abort it. It was a very murky situation. Very murky situation. Preacher, pastor had rather become a predator. I wish this were an exception. Unfortunately, it's not. And we'll find out from the modus operandi of these people that it's often people in authority. But again, if you will permit me, I know we are just women, only women gathered here. But if you'll permit me, I would actually say dealing with praying people, because it may not be a man. I want to show you a quick email I came across on the internet. This is actually a woman who said, I'm a full-blown lesbian, 27. My boss is 52. I'm single. My boss is married to a man. I'm not sure why I have these immense feelings for her. I'm black, she's white. I mean, we are complete opposites. For some odd reason, I sense that she's attracted to me. I don't think I'm delusional, but maybe I am. I recently just suffered a loss. Well, 2 losses. I forget the English, but maybe I'm just vulnerable right now. Does her being married bother me? Not at all. Does her being my boss bother me? Not at all. These things actually turn me on. No, you see, you may be looking at a guy, but it may be a woman looking at you, especially in our time. I remember going for a conference just in the Czech Republic, you know, and we had roommates. You had the choice to have roommates. And typically, what does our sense tell us? Oh, quote unquote, boys stay with boys, isn't it? Girls stay with girls, or men, whatever. Only for the meeting to start and my roommate says, I'm gay. My roommate, right? So all of a sudden, I find myself in a room with somebody who's attracted to men. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I mean, I'll come out of the bathroom with just a cloth around, but now I was wondering, Charlie, is that okay? Like, should I, you know? No, I'm just saying we should open our minds more. I'm going to deal with men, you know, mainly men, but make sure you are not blindsided. That the girl who comes and strokes your hair or whatever, you never know. I don't know whether I should even continue with this story. But she says, look at how serious it can get. He says, what? Do I want to be with her? No. Do I want to take her to the back and pull down those panties? Definitely. A praying person is a praying person. And we need to watch out. I actually wrote to and spoke with a number of women in my life. From my wife to my executive assistant to some friends. Some of them I'll show you their pictures. I wanted to find out what's been your experience and what have you done to navigate the workplace especially. And it's sad how many people, how many women. I don't know. Should I take a poll right now and ask anybody here whether you've been prayed on? Will you be courageous enough to say? Okay, how many of you have been prayed on before? Only half of us, and the rest are lying. Oh, you're not sure. You're not sure you were being prayed on. Okay, we'll find out what it looks like. Okay, all right. So, of course, you know what navigating is. It's planning and directing the course of a ship, or some other form of transport, like you. you are a being navigating this world, and especially using instruments or maps. And I'm hoping some of the things I talk about will be a good map for you, or a good instrument to gauge, the work environment. But I like the fact that it is planning and directing. That's what navigating is. So we need to have a plan. We need to have a plan. How am I doing life in this world of men? Especially in this world where men are the majority in most workplaces, unless you are a woman, like the pediatric department I'm working with this morning. In the meeting, we're a meeting of how many women? Probably 15 women. I was the only guy with one other guy. So navigating is also sailing or traveling over a terrain, in this case, in the workplace, and being careful about it, or traveling with some amount of difficulty. Now, when we talk about a praying person, basically, this is the way I want to define it: one who repeatedly seeks out exploitation. And it may be sexual, but it's not limited to sexual. In fact, I find that there are a number of praying men who actually want your money. Yeah. So a predator is a predator. He's looking for nam or penam, whatever form the nam comes, depending on what they're hungry for. And I found this very scary, which again goes back to the fact that it doesn't matter, it's just praying people, not just men. This person said the fear of being a prey motivated me enough to be a predator. And Calvary with the Emerio.